The following translation of Princess Jahanara's Risala-i-Sahibiyah by Mullah Shah was commissioned by the Mount San Antonio Philosophy Group. To his great credit, Mullah Shah finished doing a rough translation from the Urdu edition of Jahanara Begum's original Persian text in a very short time. We have subsequently rendered his more literal translation into prose that we felt was more accessible to the general reader. However, I think it is important to underline a note of caution here, since Jahanara's original Persian is mutilated to some measure when taken out of its native language and context. Nevertheless, my hope is that this small book will spark a deeper interest in the spiritual life of Jahanara and her tutelage under Mullah Shah. It is my earnest desire that a new translation, directly from the Persian manuscript, be done and then published with both versions side by side. Jahanara Begum's life and work are worthy of a deeper and more systematic study. Although she is mostly known as the daughter of Shah Jahan and the sister of Dar-e-Shikoh, she is a remarkable person in her own right and deserves more scholarly attention than has been shown in the past. 1. All praises and adoration to Allah, who is alone within self without any partner. There is no resemblance with Allah, there is not even any possibility of it. Unlimited salutations and blessings of Allah bestow on that dear lover, who is rightly prophet of Allah, and in his religion, there is no chance of any doubt. Unlimited salutations and blessings of Allah bestow on the family of the Prophet and his companions. 2. Each of them had the fear and respect of Allah, and they all were the strength and carrier of the Prophet's religion. They had done nothing else than in following the footstep of the Prophet. This is love. To fly toward a secret sky, to cause 100 veils to fall each moment. First to let go of life. Finally, to take a step without feet. Rumi. 3. This booklet is written by the beggar, slave, and disciple of Hazrat Mullah Shah. Jahanara, daughter of King Shah Jahan. Hazrat Mullah Shah is the master and guidance of this old-aged woman. This booklet consists of short stories that are of value to write them down. Having accepted the refuge of my master, in the quest and closeness of Allah, I have named this small book, Risala-i-Sahibiyah. 4. Although words are not enough, and pen does not have the strength to write about my master, years are required to write a single word about him. My tongue does not have the courage on how I should write about that person, who is perfect with his characteristics and qualities. Many centuries would be taken to write about him. I only dare to write after seeing his approach in both worlds. 5. The only aim of writing about my personal life, so that I can be listed in those companions of my master, who would be recognized with the name of my master on the day of judgment. Because I am drenched with sins and I have wasted my life in futile things. So, being listed among those companions, it may be that I would be saved with the blessings of my master. I am following the sunnah of Mashiach to write an autobiography. 6. Otherwise, I am not worthy, as well as incapable to pull out a drop from the river of the miracle of my master. How is it possible to pluck a fruit from the orchard of that righteous master, who has unlimited lessons and the best of habits? I hope that I may write about the various events that I faced with precision. This work can only be finished with the help of Allah, and I am believing in Him. 7. An introduction to Mullah Shah. You should know that this saint has a unique and different place in the wisdom of Tawheed. Oneness of Allah. He is in the highest rank of spirituality, free from the social norms and this illusionary world. He knows the hidden treasure of the world, and the secrets of the Quran. He is the sea of the Shariat, Islamic law, and Tariqah, observance or the spiritual way, and how it is pursued. 8. This is our Sheikh and Imam, Hazrat Mullah Shah, and his birthplace is the village of Araksa, in the Rostak area of Badakhshan. His father's name is Maulana Abidi, son of the Maulana Sultan Ali, son of Hazrat Qazi Fatih. Among his ancestors, one had also the title of the Qazi, judge, but their only desire and aim was to find the right path. They accepted all as the will of Allah. 9. They always accepted whatever troubles arose as their own, which had been sent by Allah. Having known this truth, they were keeping in the remembrance of Allah. They were free from the comfort of the mortal world. They consider the pain and pleasure as a lover, with which to spend the rest of their life in a better way. My master's mother was Hazrat Bibi Khatun. She was known as the Rabia and Khadija at that time. 10. She was very pious, and reached the highest point of the Marfat, divine union. She died after reaching a long age. My master has 2 brothers and 1 sister, who is 1 year younger than the master, and she is still alive. Everyone is peacefully in their own city. The name of the brothers is Beg Muhammad and Mullah Sultan Ali. They have come to India with an intention to serve the master. 11. Having received unlimited wisdom and knowledge, they have started to do meditation. After taking their full part of knowledge, they have returned on the order of the master. Master has also taught his sister about the divine knowledge, and she is truly and rightly a disciple of the master, who can speak intimately of the divine. She is also a source of that divine knowledge of master, and how he has blessed his followers. 12. Mullah Shah's devout followers have reached the pinnacle of divine knowledge. A lot of people of this country have helped to compile a book on the master's inspired knowledge, wisdom, spirituality, mysticism, Tawheed, oneness, tariqat, observance, reality and ways of the Marfat, how to unite with the divine. It helps a lot of people to reach the divine. 13. Master has also written wonderful ghazals and qasidas in his Farsi ballad book. His every verse is full of light and wisdom. The first line of every verse leads to the path, Baitul Ma'mur, 7th heaven. This old woman considers herself with devotion and honesty to be a disciple of Hazrat Mullah Shah to the highest rank among his devotees, and my master has also bestowed on me this privileged status. 14. Master's book is with me day and night and always in my sight, and it is on my tongue as well. Its verses are quenching like water, reality-based and with the divine impact of sacred union. After reading, it enhances my knowledge and provides me with other advantages. I believe that at that time no one has explained the Tawheed, the oneness of Allah, as my Shah Sahab did, and no one has the ability to replicate the same. 15. More about my master. From childhood to 21 years of age, my master lived in village of Araksa in the Rostak area of Badakhshan. In that time my master had high moral habits and displayed a miraculous character. Citizens of that area also gained knowledge, as devotees from the Hazrat Pir Dastaja and my own master. After that, they moved to Bork in order to print some written books, which could provide key details. 16. The detachment of the master from that area led to pain and misery for those citizens in his area. My master could not stay in Bork, and he moved to India as a sign from heaven. First, he lighted up the area of Kashmir with his blessings. He was 25 years old at that time. He studied there as a student for 3 years. After that, the spiritual pull and power of the divine started to the ascendant. 17. Till now, he had paid no allegiance to any master, so that he was earnest in finding a master to guide him in the mystic path. He moved to Lahore, and at that time Lahore was known for the Sufi sage, Hazrat Mian Mir. My master visited his place after knowing about him. Having seen the curiosity of my master, Mian Mir did not talk to him and even did not allow him, my master, to sit with him. The only reason was to test his sincerity. 18. In the quest of love, seek union and to know yourself. It usually happened that my master fasted, and he kept busy in himself to know the inner secret. While diligently studying, my master did not leave there. When 1 year passed with these conditions, then Mian Mir understood my master and his desires after seeing his strong belief and faith. At that moment, Mian Mir considered him his devotee. 19. Mian Mir gave my master, Mullah Shah, whatever was in his heart. My master started to do meditation, and he quickly reached a higher rank, and became aware of different types of knowledge, like a divine one, because Mian Mir's abilities were perfect. My master lived there for 19 years. In the winter, he lived there to serve Mian Mir Sahib. At that time, my master was doing very long and intense meditation. 20. He was also very self-restrained in the observance of himself. One of my best and deepest recollections of my master is that in these 19 years, and prior to these years, and after the death of Mian Mir Sahib, he had never slept. While lying on the floor, he does not sleep, and even he does not yawn or take a nap for a moment. He also stated, "Keep awake, sleep is the enemy of those who spiritually hear." 21. My master has left every comfort of this mortal world, after purifying his heart with the love of the divine. Due to the impact of meditation, and the perfection in Tawheed, oneness of Allah, he has come closer to Allah to that extent which cannot be ceased. He has reached the state of Malakut, state of Jabrut, and state of Lahut. Every curtain has been unveiled, and he has reached the aim of Marfat, divine union. 22. He often states that the opening of the gate of Allah was not possible without guidance from the Master, who was blessed by Allah. How can I praise the existence of my Master? Whatever I can write or can utter with my tongue is not sufficient to describe my blessed and perfect Master. It should be noted that he does not order his companions and relatives to do meditation with the same assiduousness as himself. 23. My master sometimes enjoins the night for meditation, and he says that we have to do meditation for the sake of our relatives. Having reached the highest state of Tawheed and meditation, Master is the illuminating leader of those people who are search of divine union. The purpose of his poems is to guide us about the Tawheed and higher states to reach the divine. Most of his conversation is about the Marfat. 24. Due to his quest for love, closeness of Allah, and the perfection in Tawheed, Mullah Shah has been given a title from the divine world as Azim Sani, Great Illuminator. 2 lines of his verse justify it. If the existence and character of any person manifest on his face, then the house of knowledge in his heart would be inhabited, and Bayazid is the beggar of this. His dignity is very high, congratulations to him. 25. Whenever a human is attached to his body, till then he is not human. When he comes to know the knowledge of heart, then he would be a human. When he has detached himself from the body, then he comes into the heart of knowledge. When that Azim Sani says, then his words, they would be Allah's words. Allah has blessed my Shah Sahib's effectiveness in his companionship that even any callous person's heart becomes softer. 26. Mullah Shah's kindness brings friendship to the heart. Having gotten the privilege to see my master's way of treating and illuminating the minds of devotees, people's curiosity of the divine started to increase. The Shia and Sunni sects are rivals of each other, but my master's poem has shown them the right path and considered al-Sunnat Jamaat as a true sect. 27. A lot of people from the Shia sect become Sunni and they have reached a high level of spirituality. Because of my master's teaching, many non-Muslims have converted to Islam. Allah has bestowed my master with that soul, that whenever a companion comes for the first time to get the zikr-i-ilahi, remembering Allah from the inner heart with words and sound, he reaches a supreme, exalted level. 28. On that spiritual plane, he can see the gathering of the Prophet Muhammad, 4 friends, Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq, Hazrat Umar Farooq, Hazrat Usman, and Hazrat Ali, companions of the Prophet and different saints, who are blessed to be there in the gatherings. Without any doubt, he sees this blessed gathering, and he talks to Prophet Muhammad to let him know about his grievance. 29. He also hears the answer of that grievance. In this way, he can talk to anyone in that gathering to whom he wants to talk. Most of the disciples, on the first occasion, already unveil the state of Malakut, and they have reached the state of Olim-e-Bala Ka, the supernal, the gathering of angels and Prophet Muhammad. This state is also known as Jabarut. 30. But it is a different perception to understanding the existence of Allah for his lover. So, in that sense, the lover thinks that in this world there are two existences. One is of he, and the other is Allah. This concept is also known as Wahdat al-Wujud. Allah is all. He and his creatures are not the same, but share an unfathomable intimacy. This is similar to a certain non-dualist concept of the Buddha. 31. They observe everything which exists there. After entering in silsila, a chain or religious order or spiritual genealogy, where one Sufi master transfers his caliphate to his spiritual descendant. This chain starts from the devotee to his master and goes on to reach Prophet Muhammad. Few become indulged with the ecstasy of the oneness of Allah to such an extent that they do not care about other things. 32. Slowly and gradually this intensity and state of affairs decrease. In the quest of Allah, Allah has given the strength to my master that he is always used to say that I have found Allah. He loudly states that if any person has the devotion and desire to meet Allah, he can help him to reach it there. He has also written in a rubaiyat about it. A few of them are written here as a sacrament. 33. A person who has lied, he has committed sin. I am telling the truth, Allah is going to be witnessed on him. Although Mullah Shah has found the way of Allah. Therefore, doors are also opened for the pious companion of Mullah Shah. 34. I have struggled for 20 years to get access to his, Allah's, manifestly sweet scent. Then I come to know that we are in the search of our own true selves. This feeling led me to know that I was that very being himself, Allah. 35. I was seeking the beautiful and enraptured lover, so that I could be beyond ecstasy with his red lips. Suddenly, I peered in myself, and I found him to devolve in my very chest. 36. Tawheed makes me the knower of the secrets, and you have made me sit on the high level of respect and honor. You have bestowed the character of being rich without having enough. Be happy that you have made the independent without any want. 37. If your heart tends toward the Marfat, then your heart knows about the character of Marfat. Oh, hungry man, what are you going to eat on the tablecloth of beggars? Sweet and delicious bite is in front of the Shah. 38. If a person truly desires for the Daulat-e-Samadi, finally he will find out a way. What is meant by Daulat-e-Samadi? It is eternal fortune, which is Marfat Ilahi, divine union with Allah. This wealth, Daulat, is in the house of Mullah Shah. 39. Allah reveals the souls on the heavens. Every soul appropriately depends on every human. I have been given the name of the Shah and bestowed me with the Shahi, royal wealth, so that my name would be Ismbar Muzamma, in which his quality is also reflected. 40. I am not interested in the world and its illusion. I am pious without anything, and I do not keep anything. I speak the truth and do not lie. Oh, my relatives and companion, I keep the things that carry me to the right path. 41. O one who has done the elemental tranquility and blessings, sending down the zikr and hard work. O Shah, you see the sky, earth, Jannat, heaven, and hell with a glimpse of an eye. O Shah, there is no doubt in it that you are among the knowledgeable people. In the ground of Tawheed you are brave. Today your friends are bravest among the braver people. This is a fact that you are the king of men. 42. O Shah, you dwell in the hearts of people. Your home will always be our dwelling. You are the master of cultivating the farm of the heart. Therefore, you should be called Al-Fatiha. Whoever sees the face of the moon, he will be free from the darkness. Whoever sees the face of the moon, he will see the beautiful face of the moon in his same direction. 43. It is true that whoever sees the face of Shah, he will see the face of Allah wherever he looks. My Shah Sahib speaks more wisely, which is difficult to comprehend, because of his status of love and perfection within himself. Those who have actually known about the wisdom of spirit, and their hearts have been filled with the sweetness of reality, then they can understand the words of my master. 44. A group who can see and understand it, but according to their belief and perception, they deny it, and remain reckless from the right path of my master. As my master speaks about that group, those people who do not behave me with kindness, they all disagree with my work. They are all followers of the Prophet's Sharia, but they are enemy of his tariq, deep, mystical observance. 45. Master is the defender of the world, and the most knowledgeable person at this time. He converts the existence of his companion from the copper to the gold like elixir. Today, the world only exists because of these fortunate companions. Those are the fortunate and blessed that come under the list of the companions of my master. They have surrendered to the master. 46. So, they have accepted the master as their leader in the world, as well as in the religion. It is difficult to do the upbringing and education of these companions like my master is doing. Otherwise, in order to do this sort of treatment, it requires spirituality and strength, and it can hardly be achieved in years upon years. 47. My master also states about it. It is not easier for everyone to guide the students, and not every pearl is beautiful, and not every glittering gravel is red. Other than that, he has also stated that my prayer has never been qaza and Allah has not given me any sort of disease that would be a cause of leaving my prayer. I have always offered prayers on the time and still doing that. 48. He is very cautious to offer congregational prayer. Mullah Muhammad Said, who is a specific companion of my master, whenever he would be there, then master does not order any other to lead the imam prayers. If he would not be there, then the master leads the congregational prayer. Hazrat Mullah Shah, my master, is a strict follower of Sharia. 49. He states that there is not any divine manifestation of Shariat. So, it is better for a Muslim that what he is apparently doing must comply with the manifestation of the Islamic law, and he must adorn his divine life according to Islamic law, which is a reality. 50. My Shah further states that usually a few scholars whose mind could not reach out the smell of marfat and the way of reality, hakikat, they taunt and disagree with me. When I tell them that if any act of mine does not comply with Islamic law, or even it is contrary to the law, then let me know so that I can be aware of it. Their faith is only consisted of doubts, that's why they could not bring up any pieces of evidence on their point. 51. My Shah does not accept any gift from worldly people, and especially from sultans and kings. But if he accepts, then it would be only 1 or 2 rupees. Every companion is ready to sacrifice his life for the master, then what is worth of wealth? Even after getting these gifts, he spends on others. Nowadays 1 or 2 companions live in his service, but he did not have such companions when he was young. 52. Sometimes, he also sits beneath the moonlight and sometimes in the unlit room. He prevents the gathering of the people who are fond of worldly desires. Whenever a person comes into the gathering of the master, he asks a few questions from them for the sake of introduction, such as, "What is your name? Where are you from?" After that, he says goodbye to the person. 53. But master's companions and followers are always ready to serve the guests. There is nothing more to say about the Shah Sahab than that he is always observing the existence of immortal Prophet Muhammad and his teachings. There is not any moment where he does not do this, such as while eating, sitting, and drinking. Therefore, he is always happy, flourishing, and a natural leader. 54. In his method of spirituality, there is no restriction and tastelessness. Sometimes in the excitement, he starts to laugh loudly. By following the sunnah of Prophet Muhammad, he does converse with his companions. Though, he is always busy in the observance of the immortal, so that his laughing is also marfat and tawheed. 55. This is what the Master said, that Allah is within himself, and this is the concept of wadat al-wujud. It means that Allah and his creation are the same. This is also the last state of spirituality, which is the state of lahut. Allah also states in Surah Baqarah that wherever you see there will be a face of Allah. As Master Rumi stated, that Allah is a reflection of us. 56. He is always busy in meditation. Tiredness and laziness are more obvious on such a person, but his face and illuminating forehead do not show that. My Shah's way of doing the ablution is that he takes the water to carry out the wuzu, ablution. It happens often that a companion pours the water in the hands of my master to carry out the ablution. 57. He wears simple clothes. He wears a turban with white color. Beneath the turban, he wears the hat. He does not like colorful turban. In the summer season, he often wears the hat on the head, and sometimes he wears a headscarf above the hat. The breeze of Kashmir is cold. So, he wears soft clothes. Hazrat Sahab's kitchen has never been used for cooking. 58. His companions and devotees bring the food in honor of the master. He takes his part from it. If any follower of the master desires to cook for the master, and invites him for the meal at his home, then my Shah follows the sunnah of Prophet Muhammad by accepting the invitation. Whatever there will be presented to eat, he eats it. He also eats with his friends. Once a day, but often twice a day they eat. 59. If there would not be available anything to eat, then he can survive 3 days without eating and drinking. Master often goes to visit the jungle and rivers. River Jhelum of Kashmir is surrounded by beautiful greenery and a fresh breeze. Therefore, it keeps the coolness and enjoyment to be there. In order to see the creation of Allah, and for the purpose of excursion, he also goes to the outskirts of the city. 60. After spending a few days there, then he returns back to his city. Sometimes he does horse riding. However, he travels without any means of transport. In this city, most of the people travel through boats, that's why my master also travels on the boat. There are so many miracles of my master with their ways to achieve it. If anyone wants to write it, then a book would be compiled. 61. However, my master does not like that these things should be written, and he also refrains us to write about them. For him, a tiny miracle is that whatever is in the heart of the questioner, he, the master, becomes aware of it with an instant sight. 62. If alchemy can change dust into gold, thou art a marvel. But asceticism is an alchemy that changes dust into God. If a man dives into the ocean of deity, what does he become? As a drop which falls from the clouds into the sea. So says Mullah Shah. 63, 64 and 65. A brief sketch of Jahanara Begum. She is perhaps the most remarkable woman of the Mughal dynasty. Jahanara Begum, born in 1614 and died in 1681, was the elder sister to her brother Dara Shikoh, and the eldest child of Mumtaz Mahal and the renowned emperor, Shah Jahan. Jahanara was deeply devoted to her father, and to her brother, Dara, with whom she shared a deep spiritual bond. Following Dara's lead, she became a follower of the Sufi mystic, Mullah Shah, who was himself a disciple of the famed sage, Mian Mir. Jahanara was considered to be Mullah Shah's most advanced disciple, and would have been his successor, if women were allowed to occupy such an exalted position. Jahanara was also extraordinarily gifted, and was responsible for sponsoring the building of the Jami Masjid Mosque, and designed the iconic Chandni Chowk Bazaar. In addition, she was highly educated, and wrote an exquisite history of the Kishti Sufi order in Persian. She was extremely generous, and spent enormous sums helping the poor and the needy. Her life, however, was filled with tragedies that she valiantly endured, including being almost burnt alive when her dress accidentally caught on fire. Fortunately, she survived after a long recovery, and having endured burns on her body, and suffering excruciating pain. Jahanara was very loyal to her father, and stayed with him for years during his exile in the Agra fort, after one of his sons, and future successor, Aurangzeb, had him arrested and imprisoned. Jahanara was a great advocate of Sufi spiritual practices, and was taught by Mullah Shah how to meditate by breath restraint, focusing on the inner heart, repeating the sacred names of Allah, and listening to the inner sound current. Near the end of her life, she designed her own burial tomb, which was remarkable for its simple beauty and elegance. It is composed of white marble and is located in New Delhi. 66. There is a beautiful inscription in Persian that adorns the outside of her tomb, inside the Hazrat Nizamuddin Dargah complex, which reveals the essence of her spirit. Allah is the living, the sustaining. Let no one cover my grave except with greenery, for this very grass suffices as a tomb cover for the poor. The mortal, simplistic, Princess Jahanara, disciple of the Khwaja Moinuddin Kishti, daughter of Shah Jahan, the Conqueror. May Allah illuminate his proof,